Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I went out and saw the Thunderbolts movie, and I actually really enjoyed this movie a lot. I've been just kind of watching there's a lot of leaked clips online. I've just been kind of rewatching a lot of those because I really enjoyed this movie, and yeah, we're going to get into it. So, before we do, be sure to hit the thumbs up button if you like the video and subscribe to the channel for more Marvel content and upcoming content for some other things I'm going to be doing, Disney movies and such. So, be sure to subscribe to the channel for that and check the links down below in the description to help support the channel in some other ways. Really appreciate that. But let's go ahead and get into my review for Thunderbolts. Okay, so this movie opens with Yelena kind of like a little depressed, a little sad, kind of not really knowing what she's doing in life, and just being alone and kind of just not happy. And this movie definitely has a theme of mental health, and I think it really speaks to a lot of people's situations, especially coming out of the pandemic and in the current economic crisis and everything. I think a lot of people are kind of feeling that way, and just kind of some sadness going on during the pandemic, isolation for sure. Even just a pit of despair, or just feeling like nothing's going to change, nothing's going to get better. So I do think that this movie does touch on those throughout the characters in different ways. Maybe not so much Ava Ghost. We don't really know her deal. But definitely with Bucky and John Walker, and obviously with Bob, Yelena, and Red Guardian, they all are going through these different kind of places in life where they're just not happy, and they don't know how to change that, and they don't know how to overcome it. They can't see, right? It's the void, they say. You just can't see outside the void. So I really do like those themes in the movie. It really is emotional and touching. But that's not what makes this movie great, because I also thought Black Panther Wakanda Forever was very emotional, but in a sad way, and it just made me so sad throughout the whole movie that I couldn't really enjoy the movie. Whereas this, it's there, the themes are there, and they touch upon them for sure, but this movie is really just about the Thunderbolts, the crew, and their chemistry together, and a lot of great comedy, and I think that balances it all out really well. And so one of the things I really enjoyed about this movie is the comedy. I thought it was really funny. I really enjoyed they did a great job making the characters unique and individualized, and they're all their own person, even though they're all dealing with their own issues of mental health in some type of way. But they're all very distinct from each other. And so I really do like that. Yelena's her own type of personality. She's definitely very consistent with the Yelena that we've met from Black Widow and Hawkeye, but she's in a different place in her life where she's not fulfilled, and so she's the same Yelena, but just tempered down a bit. So it's good to see a different side to her. This is definitely the same John Walker we got in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. They call it out in the movie, still an asshole. But they make it in a way that he's still kind of likable. You still kind of like him and enjoy his personality and how it clashes with everybody else. Ava's not as unique, but I still do kind of like her, I'm just over it type of attitude, right? Bucky's Bucky. Bucky's great. And Bob, I love Bob. It's funny. He's like a little puppy, right? You just want to hold Bob and cuddle him and tell him everything's going to be all right. So I really love Bob, and I love that, he doesn't get along with Walker, or they sort of, have that banter, but he and Yelena have this almost brotherly, sisterly bond that I really enjoy. And then you throw Red Guardian in the mix for, he does do a lot of comedic things. He is a comedic relief character for sure. But also I just love the uniqueness of, he and Yelena's relationship, right? She very much still sees him as her dad, but she still sees him as her dad, and he still kind of sees her as his daughter. And so they have a unique relationship that I think really works well, and he's there to kind of help her and give her inspirational speeches, and it's very touching, actually. And so I love Red Guardian for that. One thing I would maybe say that is not necessarily a problem, but visually needs to be sort of fixed with the Thunderbolts characters is, and this wasn't really the movie to kind of do that because it wasn't really an action heavy movie. It wasn't really like focused on big action set pieces. Like they did have Bucky like riding up on the motorcycle, being very Winter Soldier like. That was pretty cool. And I do love the scene with all the assassins in the bunker trying to kill each other. That was also really awesome. But one thing I would maybe make sure they work on going forward is that at least 3 of these characters have super soldier serum. And they need to sort of make it a little bit more distinct in what their abilities are. Like Bucky has the metal arm, so like he does that, and we already kind of know Bucky's abilities and everything. In this movie, Walker like leaps up in the air like super high, like 30 feet in the air, which I don't ever remember Cap being able to do that. I mean, maybe he did, but we just never saw it. He could. So that, I mean, maybe that's a unique thing to Walker. I don't know. He was more of an experienced military guy and in very good shape before the super soldier serum, so I don't know if that affected him differently. I guess I just want a little more differentiation between what their abilities are and what just a regular person with fighting skills like Yelena has, right? And make her, like, Black Widow, Natasha always had, like, the Black Widow move that she did, right? And I think we need to give Yelena, like, her signature move, right? Ghost has the ability to phase, which is very unique in the MCU, so that kind of already sets her apart. And it would be, and I think they used it really well in here, so we do have that. But yeah, I would maybe try and make at least the 3 super soldiers, a little bit more unique in their abilities and just showcase what they can do that a regular person can't do. Like, I mean, in this one, like, they are, like, stopping, like, huge blocks of concrete from killing people, and it doesn't crush them, so that is pretty, interesting. But I just feel like the MCU's gotten to a point where it's just generic super soldier serum, and that's it. And I would like to see more, like, because it's all not the same exact super soldier serum, everybody's getting a slightly different version. It'd be nice to see if that creates any changes within them. Just a little more variation, that's all I'm saying. Like, we had Captain America, the super soldier. Now we just have, like, these watered-down versions. We need to kind of make them a bit more distinct, I think. And they definitely do that with Walker and Red Guardian in terms of their personality. But I think visually, in terms of their abilities and how they fight, we need to, like, make them a bit more unique. So that's kind of the only, like, thing I have about the group. But other than that, I did like all of the action scenes that we did get, for sure. Again, the bunker scene was awesome. Bucky's motorcycle scene was awesome. And even some of the stuff they did at the end where they're saving the citizens on the street and then everybody gives them an applause in the street. And that's like when Val gets the idea of like, hey, this could be the new Avengers, right? So I do like all of that. As far as Bob Sentry / the Void goes, that was kind of a cool scene in terms of, like, we do get to see Sentry's power and, like, how powerful he is. I do wish that the Thunderbolts were just maybe a little bit more effective in, like, doing some damage, or he just stands there. Like, literally nothing affects him. And that is, I mean, I guess that is his power in the comics. Like, he's so powerful. Like, even in this, like, he basically thinks he's a god, like, because he's more powerful than all of the Avengers, which includes Thor, a god. And so does that mean he is more powerful than Thor? Is he more powerful than Captain Marvel? Is he more powerful than Scarlet Witch? I've been seeing online, like, everybody's like, who would win in a fight, Sentry or Wanda? Sentry or this person? And so I do think going forward in the MCU, since we only did just get a little bit of a glimpse, I think, again, we really need to define what power level he is at. One of the things about Captain Marvel is they really made her really powerful in Captain Marvel, and then especially in Endgame, where she almost took out Thanos on her own. But then for the Marvels, like, they kind of, like, depowered her in a way. And so I kind of don't like that, and they never explained why. But so, like, we need something like that for Sentry to, like, just kind of, like, really define his power level and what can and can't affect him and how powerful he is in relation to other characters. And I think possibly Avengers Doomsday might do that. He might be fighting other characters. We'll see. The Void in this only kind of just uses like the shadow, send you to the void power. He doesn't really use like, and if he has any other powers, he doesn't really use those. It's just the shadow thingy. But it's very creepy. It's very interesting, stylistically. Like he's just like a black silhouette with like white eyeballs. So that does look pretty cool. And even though like the end of the big climax of the movie isn't really like having to fight, it's really like an internal fight, an internal struggle that they need to overcome, for Bob really, and then also for the rest of the Thunderbolts. And we really only get to see like Yelena's glimpse into her void past. I do wish maybe we would have gotten to see, I mean, we know Bucky's. We got Bucky's sort of flashbacks in other movies, in Falcon and Winter Soldier. And we did get a glimpse of Walkers. I wish maybe we could have had more time to explore Ava and Red Guardian and like what they saw and why they maybe are the way they are. Although I guess we kind of know Ava's past. We really don't know Red Guardian's past that much, so maybe we could have explored his void self a little bit. But I do like that the end is basically just Bob needing to overcome the void internally and not just punch him physically. So that was kind of an interesting ending. But then it is a little anticlimactic, a little bit. And then, of course, the very end is Val announcing them as the new Avengers, right? And then the end credit scene was really cool. I did like that. Finally, we get like a good, meaty, interesting, fun end credit scene that gives us something and not just is like a tease, right? Like, I mean, they do tease the Fantastic Four might be coming or whoever's in that ship, but they also give us like information like they've been the new Avengers for a year. Sam Wilson's like suing them for the rights to the Avengers name because that's something we left off at the end of Captain America Brave New World, as he's putting together his team of Avengers. And now it's kind of like, well, which team do you want? Do you want Sam Wilson's or you don't want the Thunderbolts team? And at this point, I want the Thunderbolts team just because I prefer these characters. I like Sam Wilson, but I don't really care for his new Falcon character. But so, like, who would be on his team? Is Ms. Marvel on his team? That would be pretty cool. In that little, like, cruise promo thing that they do for the Disney cruise or whatever, like, Ms. Marvel's on the team in that, so I don't know. Yeah, so that was a good scene, and it's a good little tease. Well, not really a tease, but it's good information. And, Yelena makes a joke of, that's why we're the Avengers with a Z. So it's a lot of fun. So the thing I really like about this movie is it has the emotional hook, but it also has some really good, not a lot of action, but really good action, and also just really great characters. Like you enjoy seeing these characters as a group, and there's a lot of good comedy in here. And so I really enjoy this movie. I want to go see it again. Yeah, so I recommend this movie a lot. And I think it's definitely one of the best MCU movies in a while. Just for me personally, in terms of my personal entertainment and what I want out of MCU, I just think it has that balance, right? Like it kind of reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy 3, where that had, the emotional hook as well. But also it's a Guardians movie, so they do balance it out with the comedy. So to me, it kind of feels more like that. Whereas Captain America Brave New World, it didn't have any emotional hook really. Any emotional hook that was there, it was never the focus. And it just didn't have enough lighthearted comedy to balance anything out. Deadpool and Wolverine, I don't really count that as an MCU movie. To me, technically it is, but to me that's still kind of a remnant of the Deadpool movies. And as much as good as that movie is, and as much as I enjoyed it, personally I would rather watch Thunderbolts over it. So to me, this is probably my favorite MCU movie in a while. So I really enjoy it. And part of it is because I really do love the characters. I love Yelena. To me, she's a top tier MCU character now, ever since she was introduced. Red Guardian is great. I really like what they did with John Walker in this movie. I love that they brought Ghost back. Like, finally, like, she wasn't just a throwaway one-use villain. They brought her back. The Taskmaster thing was a bit disappointing. Like, I was cool that she was gonna die in the movie, but she, like, a little too soon. Like, we got hardly anything with her. Literally, like, one line. So I wish maybe we got a little more with her, like, before that happened. But it doesn't really matter because nobody really liked Taskmaster anyway. So, overall, I just think this movie is a really good kind of return to form for Marvel in that it has the heart, it has the lighthearted comedy, it's got some good action. Val isn't like a great villain. Like, I know Void and Sentry are like the villain in terms of like they're the ones he's the one that they have to overcome, but really Val is pulling all the strings. She's kind of really the villain. So I wish maybe we could have, I don't know. See, I think she's trying to be like the anti Nick Fury in a way. I don't know. There's just something, I don't know. But anyway, overall, this is a really good movie. So I had a great time with it. So that's my review. Did you guys love it like I did? Did you guys hate it? Maybe it's not everybody liked it, so maybe some people hated it. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video. Stay tuned to the channel for more Marvel content. I am working on my way through Daredevil. Eventually that will come out. And then I'll have some more content going forward with some Disney projects I'm working on. So anyway, stay tuned to the channel. Thank you for watching the video. And until next time, we are the Thunderbolts. Actually, that's why we're the Avengers with the Z. Bye.